Okay, hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. If you're visiting us for the very first time, welcome to Design Space. We are going to be doing something that we have done before, but probably it could be hard for you to find. So we are going to be creating a custom background. We're going to be creating our own kind of background instead of getting it from different sites and looking for different elements to combine together and see how we can create a design. But as it just works, we're going to create our own. It's going to be very simple. It's going to be very quick. We're going to try and keep it very short. And let's get straight into the video. So now if you start seeing installing Illustrator for the very first time, this is how your screen will look like. And do not panic. I'm going to walk you through the whole steps. I had to install it so you actually will see how it looks like. So what we'll do first is go to create new file. But before we can do that, let's just probably give you the rundown before. This is the menu bar, and these are just some templates you can just jump into in case you're working in speed. So we'll go to new files. They will have options here. You could decide to title it. We have other things that you could give you as suggestions. So probably if it's for a mobile, it's for web, it's for print, it's for film, or it's for an art or an illustration. So it's for mobile. You have other options for mobile here. But let's just go straight into creating today's design. All this we're going to cover probably on our course that will be coming out very soon, not in, sorry, anyone. So good. So what we do here is we come to the right hand side. Right hand side, we could title our practice today custom background or BG. We're going to change this to pixel because we want to work in pixel and we're posting it on social media. So here will be 1080p. That's 1080 pixels, so just leave that 1080 there. And here will be 13550, 135 instead. That is a social media custom, something like that. So if you understand, that's what we use actually for our social media posts on Instagram and other various social media platforms. And so just using one artboard. If you want, let's make it two in case we need to just trick there. So this bleeds. This is for print. If you're working on print, then you could introduce all this concept into the case there. But we'll leave it to CMYK if it's for print, but let's use RGB if it's for display. Our resolution, we said is 150 because my machine is not like high-end machine. And preview mode, leave it as default. Nothing else to change. And let's go into create. So this is how it looks like if you're using Adobe 2024. So what we're going to do here is we're going to style it to our own taste or to how I use it most times. So it's much preferable if you use it that way, that I'm going to show you how, than using it in just the default state. So let's just go into it. So what we do here is that we can come to Windows here, then we go to workspace and we change it from essentials to essential classic. Now essential classic will give us a more tools to use and other things that you could actually play with. So let's go to essential classic here and voila. So this is how it will look like with some properties or some window properties here over here. Then we'll have our properties like aligned here, and we'll have all our tools also placed at the left hand side. Good. So this one here is our colors. We have our color guide and we have our swatches. We have all this. We're going to cover that, as I said, in our course. For here, we're just here to design and to create that background that I told you from initial. So let's close this text to vector because we're not going to use any AI to do that stuff. We are authentic. We close that and we have the main properties that we want here. So let's move to this artboard. Control-0 takes you to that artboard that you are currently selected. So in case you want to edit artboards, your artboards, there's a shortcut for it. It's Shift-O or Shift-O, yes. So this is the artboard tool here. Now you can edit your artboards and move them to different locations if you want to do that. So I'm holding on Shift to ensure that it moves on a straight line. If I don't hold on Shift, it might go off track and not move in a straight line. So let's take it a little bit further so we don't have to let it walk into here. I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Good. Now we have this. So what we just need to create the background first, then we can begin to align other things there. It's just maybe two major things. We need our curvature tool and we will need probably our selection tool, but we'll actually see all the tools we'll cover right in using those ones. So good. I'm going to come outside of that artboard and see how I'm going to create such stuff. But remember to always place it in your mind that it should be scaled to the proportion that you want it to appear on the artboard. So let's do this now. Good. We have our curvature tool here. We're going to draw some random shapes. Do not be dismayed. I am not an expert in creating random shapes. I'm just trying my best and seeing if it will work. So I can introduce maybe my pencil tool here. So the pencil tool, you can double click on it to make it more smooth. So to have like all these smooth curves there. So we're going to use our pencil tool in this case. So we can draw something like this. And then we can add colors there. Fill it and remove the strokes. Ensure strokes are removed, please. If there are strokes there, remove the strokes there. So good. Place that there. And so let's take that. I think we should take it here so we see what is going on. Just choose a random color. You can change that later. I prefer using HSB, something like that. Okay. Good, like so. Good. So let's position this. Good. I think this is okay. So now let's begin to draw. I think put that this side. It's too big. We're going to adjust everything accordingly. I think I should just delete that. Good. Go back to our pencil tool. Draw. Do not worry about it. The pencil tool will try and make it smooth as possible, and you could also use your eyedropper tool to pick the properties of the other things you have there. So don't worry. Go back to that. That next one. Okay. So I'm just going to speed up the process, then we'll go come to this one. So just draw random shapes, but just try as much as possible to avoid them touching each other because they might want to just merge and become one. Okay, so far so good. We have come to this point, and this is what we have so far. So now what we just need to do is just to find something that will blend with it, or something, maybe a common ground that will go with it. Then we can begin to tweak it and see how we can introduce some other things. So this is what I mean now, is that we're going to draw a rectangle. We should have done this from the initial start, but we just probably can try. There are different ways, different routes we could take. So let's do this, and let's look for a background that is not too white in particular, but I also want to ensure that it's not too dark either. So we could push it here, then move it down. That's why I'm using HSB, because it will give me the tone that I will preferably want. So I think I'm okay with this cream milk color. I think it's nice. In case it's not given, you could do that, and then you could slide this. It's too red. I think like this, and like so. So like this. Now, so with this background, we could use it and work a lot with it, or do different things with it. So let's lock the one behind it. So it's Control 2. That's number 2 to lock the background. So the stuff should introduce at the back there. So what we're going to do now is going to select everything here. We're going to group it so it becomes one. If you want, we could try. That's why I have 2 artboards here. We could also draw those ones here, but let's just leave it that here and duplicate this. So holding on Alt, I click and drag, and I place this over here. So I'm going to be introducing an effect called the ruffling effect. Now the ruffling effect can work individually on each of the elements, or it could work in groups. So when you group them, it works so it gives you a different effect or a different view of how it looks when you're actually working on them individually. So let's do this. We go to effects here. In case you can't see this effect here, but you're supposed to see it if you're using Essential Classic, you will come to effect here and you go to distort and transform, you go to roughen, and then let's move this to the side. So you see what it can do here. If we want, we can increase the size and make it more scattered. And if we want, we could also increase the details. So the details will require more of your processor to do work, and compared to when it's less of the details. You could make it more smooth, you could make it more cornered. But for now, let's focus on this guy. So let's come back to here. Now, what we can do now is to introduce a shape on it. So I'll be using a rounded rectangle tool in this case. I'll mark the pick from here and draw to this point. I will place that at the center there. So the alignment tool, in case you can't find the alignment, you come here and you could see the align. You do the pop from this side here. So that's one thing. Close that. Good. So we will be using the shape, the same color from the background there. We could scale it down. We could come to the side and draw the corners, so have it more curved. And now we want to just introduce a shadow on it. So hold on Alt, I click and duplicate. So this shape that is being duplicated by the side of it, it's at the top, but I want to send it to the back. So it will be Control open curly bracket. I think that's curly brackets, yes. Open curly brackets. So it's behind it now. We'll change the color to black, and that's it, black there. But it's too black. We want something that is more soft. What do? We reduce the opacity to about maybe 36. I think that's cool. We go to effects, in case you know effect here or effect here, it's still the same thing. You go to blur, you go to Gaussian blur, and you could increase your Gaussian blur to about 20. So good. Now we have a very soft shadow there. In case it's not enough, you want it more soft, you could increase it to 30, and you could see how soft it is. If it's not too visible, you could also increase here to 50 or so, and it will be more pronounced in that case. But I think 35 will be okay for me. And then the more you take it away, the more the shadow looks more distant. So I think this is okay. Or let's good. So I think this is okay. This is okay for us. Let's we can begin to introduce text if we have text. I think I found a font called Beauty today. I do not know what I want to tie to this, or let's just find some food pictures or some food images that I have on my PC, and I will import it here, and you can see if we edit it. So I'll do that job. Okay, so now we have our images. Let's import them. So I'm going to hold on Control Shift P, and then we trace our way, or we locate where our files are. Then we begin to import them one by one. If you want to import them at once, it might just appear too big or very large on your screen. So let's just pick them one by one. So by using Control Shift P, that will work much better for you. So place that, keep this over here, and then we'll repeat the same process over and over. So Control Shift P, and then we pick the next one. So you scale it up to how you want it to be, and like that, and so on and so forth. Good. So now we have all our images imported. Now we can begin to arrange it and see how we could also play and create shadows for these images that we do have. So let's have this over here. I think I'll have this over here, and then I'm going to have this placed behind it. Well, let's put it in front of it, and I'll bring this over to the side, and this and this, push them here. And then we could have our shawarma in front of it, and our pizza should be behind that. Oh, we should just drop this to the side. Good. Now, so what I was saying about probably applying shadows to this is, in this case, probably we want to apply a shadow because it's on top of it, so it could reflect that it's like showing a shadow on it. Is that we will use our shape. Let's zoom into this, and we're going to bring our ellipse tool because we have an ellipse shape there, ellipse-like shape over there. We'll bring it to this side. We could also scale it, and okay, right over there. We send it to the back of it, and we reduce the opacity to, I think, sensibly is 15 should be okay. And then we'll go that. We go Gaussian blur, and then I think 30 is strong. Let's go to 25, and we could increase it to see if it's well placed. So something like that. You could also duplicate it in case you have an ellipse shape, but in this case we do not have an ellipse shape. So we have something like this shape. So we could just draw to cover under of it, so it shows that this also has its own shadow being placed there. So use the curvature tool in this case. We click and click here, so we just form a random shape under of it and close that, and you could send it to the back of that and reduce opacity to about 15 or 14 that we used the last time. Let me take that, blur, Gaussian blur, and okay. You could also bring it down a little bit, and like so. So it's not too shouty, but those subtle effects you do add to it actually makes a lot of difference. So we could also do that, the same thing here. We could just click randomly, and send it to the back of it. Reduce the to about 15. Blur, Gaussian blur, 25 is there. We could reduce it to about 20. Then if you want, you could also increase this to maybe 20 there too. And yeah, so I think that's okay. Place that in this case, and then we could begin to sprinkle our text, which will make it much better. So we have delicious meals, I think, delicious meals, and I have a beautiful font called Beauty. So I have a beautiful font called Beauty, and I'm going to be using that font. It's called Beauty. And then let's post that, bring that delicious meals. Good. Place that the center. So the shortcut for putting things at the center is Ctrl-Shift-C. So delicious meals could be here. Get ready, I think, for, and then change that to Satoshi, which we have Satoshi Light, and then we could make that medium, or let's just use Satoshi regular. We could make that capital letters or true uppercase. Reduce it to about that. Place it right here. Ensure it's at the center by pressing that. And then also you could ensure this is also at the center by pressing that. Good. It's not looking center. Group that, put that at the center too, or you could move it here. Good. So we could also group this, but if you group it, it's going to leave the shadows there. So I think they're staying there, or just it being there is actually good. It's much better compared. So we could also add other details. So I'm going to speed up this part because it's just text, and it's very easy to walk away through that process. I'm just going to look for probably a designer that I saw online, and probably a designer I will just look online and just copy the content there and insert it into the whole process there. So let's go. Good. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, hi, and welcome to the end of this tutorial. Wow. So actually, it was a very nice time spending here. We just created this within the space of 20 minutes, and everything is looking nicely. You could do other triggers there. You could also bring, maybe you could also bring maybe the burger flying from one side of the court, while the shawarma flying from the other side. Of probably we should switch places. I think yeah, this should be there, and it should be like this, and this can also be like that, and we could also have our pizza flying from maybe here, but it should be much smaller in this case. Like so. So we have them selected, and we want to create a center point. So this is what I want to show you. The last effect I'll show you before we end this video is that we can group them so they become one. We go to effect. Remember, effect is up there to we go to blur, go to radar blur, and we're going to use the spin, or let's use the zoom instead, and we're going to increase it to 20. And when we click on it, it's going to push it from the center here. So it's going to make it push down. I think it's too strong. We can bring it to 10, and I think 10 looks very, very better compared to the rest of. So this is also good. We could, if you want to, could duplicate and still have that also there. Maybe just over here. It should not be too big compared. So if you want to edit this individually, you could double click to isolate that layer for you, and then you could move it. When you move it, it also affects the rest of the elements on the one that has been grouped together. So that this is the end of this tutorial today. I will see you guys in the next one, and for now, remain blessed. Peace.